I would like to ask you if it really needs, in order for that new vision, different perception, new lookout, does it really need a collapse or an explosion, since that one is only in the dream? So this collapse and explosion is not real, it's in the dream, but it still needs it?
No, nothing is needed and nothing happens. It's only what we're talking here about. We're really talking in two realities. One is the natural reality, simply what is, and the other reality is the separate reality, the artificial reality. And in the artificial reality, what's understood as stories, descriptions. But where they're coming from is no thing. The description of the apparent collapse of the contracted energy is just a description, like a story or a parable, which is trying to illuminate the situation. But actually there is no contracted energy, there's nothing that is separate. Yeah. And there isn't a collapse, and there isn't a liberation. It's only for the seeker, because the seeker can only comprehend can begin to comprehend its dilemma. Its dilemma, the hopelessness of being a seeker. And strange enough, when that sense or recognition or illumination of the absolute hopelessness of the seeker is somehow illuminated or becomes apparent, then it's possible that then something else can arise. So what we're really trying to do here is, by describing the collapse of a contracted energy, we're only trying to clarify or describe something which in the end actually doesn't happen. And when that which doesn't happen seems to happen, then there's a sudden recognition that there's nothing happening, that this is no thing happening. This is no thing appearing to be something that's happening. This is an appearance. This is no thing playing at being a group of people in the room. It's not really happening. So, in some way or other, when that's illuminated, something begins to collapse. We've noticed that something begins to collapse in the me, in the fixed me. The me that thinks it's so real starts to wobble and it's quite possible that the whole thing will suddenly collapse, and then a body will ring Tony Parsons up and say, "Oh, now I'm laughing because I understand that you can't describe to me what this is like. That's just happened to me," or it doesn't happen to the person. What's just happened, you can't describe, and I can't describe it to you. I have so many people phoning me up saying, "I can't describe this to you," and I know why. You can't describe it to anybody. There's an attempt to describe it, but it's inconceivable. It's a mystery. It's unknowable. So no, there is no contracted energy. There is no collapse.
But it's recognized when it
there's a recognition that there never was a contracted energy to collapse. Mm-hmm. What's recognized is the utter fallacy of separation. Mm-hmm. The utter fallacy of it. Separation, what's that mean? That's freedom. Mm-hmm. Because now, all that's left now is everything.
But Tony, there is contracted energy in the body.
It only feels as though it is, and that contracted energy that you think is there is not real. The problem for the me is that the me lives in a circle in a story where it thinks everything is real, including the feeling of being contracted. So it feels absolutely real. What's not realised is that it's real and unreal, that it is no thing arising apparently as a contracted energy. me, it feels as though it is absolutely real. And I'm absolutely real. I am a real person who feels this contracted energy. That's the dilemma of the seeker.
Up until now, I had the idea that everything is energy.
Is everything?
Everything is energy. Everything is energy.
Yeah, whatever that means.
And part of this energy is contracted, and part of it is expanded or not contracted.
But the energy is both real and unreal. The energy is nothing arising as an apparent manifestation. This is energy. This is nothing arising as the energy of a room full of people. It's real and it's unreal. It is and it isn't. So your contracted energy that you think is real in you, a real person, is simply an appearance.
Thank you.
Did you hear this?
Absolutely.
There was a real edge to that, wasn't there? Thank you.
You mentioned before that as a child, we all are still in the oneness. And
Well, there is just one.
It's just the oneness. And then, whenever we lose it, over aging then. And so I assume that the reason why we lose it is not that there is a biological, whatever, clock or switch, saying within the age of 3 years everyone loses it, but there is an influence from outside that makes it so that...
No.
So what's the reason why we lose it as a child?
There isn't a reason. There isn't a reason for this now. There's no reason for this happening. It just is happening. It's only the me that wants a reason for everything.
But the triggers that we lose it, I assume the triggers that we lose it come from outside.
Well, no, they are. It is purely, all there is energy, and within that energy arises the apparent separation. There isn't anything outside. Advaita, the word Advaita means not two. The word non-dualism means nothing that is apart. There isn't anything that's apart. There is only energy, and with energy, there is an apparent arising of separation. It has absolutely no reason to happen. It just seems to happen.
But it happens.
It only seems
to happen.
Yeah.
And so my feeling is that if we can lose it as a child, there might be some also kind of process or trigger that we can return to that state.
Yeah. So that's another idea that the seeker has, which is utterly, unfortunately, futile. Because that implies that there's something that can choose to do something. Only in your dreams. Fear is just an emotion that arises. Fear is energy arising as fear. So,
What's real?
what is here?
What is real?
What is real? Nothing.
Yeah.
Nothing. There is no such thing as reality, a fixed reality, except in the dream of separation.
Mm-hmm.
In the dream of me, there seems to be something that's real called me and the objects that are out there. So for this, in the dream, I really am a person, and that wall is really over there. It's real. It's over there, about 20 meters. It's separate from me. It's another object. It's a dream world in which there seems to be something that is real. In the natural reality, everything is real and unreal. It's absolutely obvious. It's absolutely obvious that this is nothing appearing as this.
Absolutely.
It's obvious. Except to the me, who thinks this is real. The me can't see the unreal, and the me daren't see the unreal. Because if the unreal was seen, there wouldn't be a me. So sitting on a seat for the individual is absolutely real. Wow, this is really happening. can't see that sitting on the seat is real and unreal. If it did, it would die. So it stays apart from sitting on the seat in order only to see what it wants to see. That's real, so am I. And so I will continue.
Tony, about this, is that on? No, it's not. About this energy. You say there seems to be energy. Apparently there's energy. But if it's only apparent, then what is there?
Oh, there isn't anything.
Nothing. I
No.
know. Nothing.
No. Everything is only apparent. Everything is nothing appearing as everything.
And the same goes for energy.
Oh, well, that is the same thing, yeah. Everything that arises is nothing arising as energy, or wholeness, or oneness, or whatever word you want to use. Well, within reason, yeah. Beingness.
I somehow always had the idea that when there's nothing left, it's still energy. There's still energy there.
Well, you could, in answer to that, you could say that no thing is potential energy, if that makes it clear.
Potential.
No thing is not doing anything, but strangely enough, at the same time, it is also being everything. It isn't that it's in a little cave somewhere doing nothing and then it appears. No, yeah. It is that what you're looking at the moment is nothing appearing as something.
But
it's the potential energy appearing as energy.
It's the potential part.
Oh, why?
There is no thing is potentially energy.
Yeah, but in a way, what that can bring you to believe is that there are two things. It isn't two things. This is energy. This is nothing energized, appearing as.